Alright y'all, we are going to change the tires on a Honda VFR Deluxe with 17,233 miles. And the reason being, the back tire is a little bit done. I do not like getting this far into the tread. No, it's not like a racing slick. Front tire doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit scalloped on the edges. But that's to be expected. These are the Pilot Road 4s. And we're going to put Pilot Road 5s on. For those of you who get 10,000 miles out of Pilot Road tires, or 10,000 miles out of any tire for that matter, I feel bad for you. I got 2,700 miles out of this set of tires, and I am very happy that I got 2,700 miles, because they were 2,700 miles of fun. If you're getting 10,000 miles out of a set of tires, you're probably not enjoying the bike the way it was made to be enjoyed. We can argue about that later. We can debate about it later. But if you're watching this video after just getting back from a ride and you have 2-inch chicken strips on your back tire, you probably could have been doing something a little bit more exciting. Maybe at your age, a jigsaw puzzle. For this job, you're going to need a 14mm socket, a 12mm socket, 22mm socket, and we're on the 14s right now. We use the 12 to loosen up the cinch bolt, and we use the 22 to remove the axle bolt. I'm going to grab my caliper. I'm going to give it just a little twist. And see how I bend that like that? And that's going to make our caliper just come off. If you're worried about hanging your caliper from the brake line, if you don't think that a DOT rated brake line can hold that 16-ounce caliper, you might want to take your bike to the dealership and let them work on it. Again, I just slide that caliper back and I just kind of turn it a little and it slides right off. Now we have our pinch bolts loose. And what we did was we took this axle bolt and we just push the axle out. So we want to push the axle out just far enough on this side so we see this hole in the axle. See that hole right there? And with that hole we can take a screwdriver, or any kind of little bar or anything that'll fit through that hole. We want to support our wheel as we pull the axle out. The axle's out. If the axle wouldn't have come out or wouldn't have turned, we do have one of these tools, this hex tool. It'll go in the axle and actually turn that axle. But that's the reason why we put the grease. That's why we put grease on our axle. Not so the wheel will turn on the axle, because the wheel turns on the bearings, not the axle. But we grease the axle so it'll come out easier next time. So we take our spacers out. You put your left side spacer on the left side. And you take the right side spacer. And let's put the right side spacer on the right side. If you're bringing your bike to me to get done, I always put 90-degree valve stems on a bike when I do it. If they don't, the bike comes to my house and it doesn't have a 90-degree valve stem, much like that, and that's probably the color that I would use on your bike, just because gold is super easy to spot. So I'm going to take my cap off. I'm going to grab a Schrader valve tool. Throw the old Schrader valve away. And now we're going to go over here to the tire machine. Turn the air on. Nothing like a Michelin tire. These are the new, well, these are the Michelin Road 5. I know the Michelin Road 6 is out, but who can afford them? So we want to look for our arrow. Our arrow is hiding from us today. I want to say the last one I did, it was hard to find the arrow also. You would think they would put it on like the sidewall or make bibendum on the sidewall, be running the direction, you know, kind of like the Metzler elephant runs in a certain direction. Alright, so my arrow is right there. And I'm not readily, yeah, okay, so there's my arrow on my rotor. So I need to go that way. If you look for a dot, there's no dot on a Michelin tire. That dot is a wives' tail anyway. It's light spot, heavy spot. Once you drive your bike down the road, the wheel changes, so that's just a wives' tail. But with Michelin, the rumor I heard is you put the barcode at your valve stem. You make sure I did that right. It's better to double check. Yeah. I personally don't really care about that dot on the tire. When I am mounting a set of tires for somebody, I do try to line up that dot. But if the tire spins on the wheel when I'm mounting the tire, I don't really worry about it. Because I don't care. There we go. I'm also using FAA approved Schrader valves. This is the VFR. VFR runs 36 front, 42 rear. Okay, that's what 36 looks like. We're going to go back over here. going to put my cap back on. So I haven't taken my wheel weights off yet. Sometimes you get lucky and you don't have to take off wheel weights, and you can reuse the ones that are there already. So at 3/4 of an ounce, yeah, 3/4 of an ounce is, that's going to be a lot of weight to put on. So I'm going to take off the 1.25 ounces that's already on here. So if my math is correct, when I spin it again, it's going to ask for 1/2 ounce. Ah, 3/4 of an ounce. And it wants it there. So, and that's right where I took off. I took off weight there, so that's okay. This is greased lightning. And it does like to have the weight in this part of the wheel, because I'm on the opposite side of the wheel, and I'm rubbing off tape probably from the last time that I changed the tires. And just like you, I get lazy too. So here is 3/4 of an ounce. We're going to run that up to where it's right on top. If you can see the machine. So I didn't actually set the machine up before I started, and I'll show you that it usually doesn't make a difference. So we know it's a 17-inch wheel, not a 15-inch wheel. I kind of jumped the gun, got ahead of myself. And we know it's a 3.5-inch wheel. But if anything would have changed while we were making that change, it would have changed the weight. It's still going to balance to 0. So there you have it. So I know somebody caught that, and they're going to flame me in the comments. But this way they can't, because it doesn't make a difference, and I just proved it to you. There's always that one guy on the internet that's never used a tire balancer, but he thinks he knows everything. So somewhere I got into some junk. It looked like grass when I was taking it apart. But there's no telling. There's no telling. It probably was grass, as much as they mow the roads around here. I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to wipe my axle shaft off. So that's clean. I'm going to get me a new paper towel. I'm going to put it right there. Open my toolbox drawer. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I am huge on Lubrimatic marine grease. Marine grease will, it'll keep the water dampness out of your bearings in your inside of your wheel. So I'm going to take a little fingerful. Come over to this side. I'm going to take a little fingerful and I'm going to put it in this seal like that. If you look at your seal, there's like a little lip in there, and the grease goes just perfect in that little lip. And then I put my spacer in that one. Come back to this side. We're going to do the same thing over here. So there's that little lip. So we're just putting a little bit of grease in there. And take that spacer over on this side. I'm going to take my axle. I'm going to put a nice light coat of grease on this axle. That's all greased up. We'll get our grease out of the way. Now I'm going to lift up my wheel. Okay, how's that? That looked pretty easy, didn't it? Back on this side. All right, now, this is where a lot of you guys jump on and claim me that I'm doing it the wrong way. You're doing it the wrong way. Bunch of whiny VFR owners. So we put our caliper on, both calipers. We're going to put them on. I know, somewhere in your manual it says you're supposed to tighten down the axle. You're supposed to jump up and down while doing a somersault on your handlebars or some junk like that. I don't know. I can't follow all the crap that people post in the comments. All I can do is laugh, right? All you can do is laugh, because sometimes it's a silly world we live in. Hopefully I didn't push this one up closed too much. It feels like it did, though. It feels like it did. Like it pinched them closed too much. There's that. Into place. Boy, one of us needs to clean the wheels on this bike. Need to stop riding and do some cleaning. put those EVCHH pads on here. They seem to be getting me a little bit dirtier than normal. Mama, I need to break out all the torque wrenches today. So we're going to set our torque wrench to that right there. See in the little window right there? That's right. I do not give out torque specs. Okay, calipers are torqued down on the left side. Torqued down on the right side. Now watch this. Watch this. The easiest way to align your front end is to spin the front wheel and pump the brakes. When that front wheel comes to a halt like that, that means everything's pretty much lined up. At this point, you can torque down your front axle. Okay, so we want to go to this side first. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. That's what it should look like when your front wheel's on and it's aligned. So there's our front tire with Michelin Pilot Road 5. I hope I like them as much as I like the 4. I do have an extra set of 4 that I bought last year. I'm going to put those on my yellow VFR shortly. Come back. Let's watch the rear wheel get done. That's going to be a much quicker video. I may or may not replace clutch fluid on this. I don't know. It depends on how I feel. I might do the brakes and I might do the clutch in another video. So come back and watch.